guys, Deb Acker here, back with another video. And the title of today's video is really, how do we stop bad things from happening to us? So if you're new to these videos, I'm an intuitive coach and I work mainly with women to help them to heal their past, heal their childhood patterns, specifically around abandonment and the abandonment that can show up when we have physically and or emotionally unavailable parents. Right? And most of us obviously don't want bad things to happen to us. And so what I want to talk about in today's video is really where those root in and how we can start to change this and actually even reframe it to start to look at those negative moments and those challenging moments as actually supporting us and actually helping us to heal, right? And so first and foremost, so much of the time, we don't realize it, right? But our childhood patterns can be creating our everyday life, right? And so, there's these moments that happen to us when we're kids, say for instance, around rejection, could be around feeling invisible, could be something that makes us angry, but it's really anything that we're struggling with and or any, everyday challenge that happens, right? Those moments happen and, those emotions, if we don't deal with them in the moment, and many times we don't, right? Because we don't, have the awareness to even do so, those get stored in our body and then they become a magnetizer for our present day reality. And as those are getting stored in our body, right, we're constantly making up conclusions. So say, for instance, you get rejected in some way. You might make up subconsciously that you will always be rejected, right? Or that rejection is just part of life. And then again, in your present day reality, you take that subconscious conclusion and you attract more rejection. And in part, we are attracting that rejection to have the voice that we didn't get to have when we were kids, to basically say like, no, that's not okay, or no, you can't treat me that way, or that really makes me mad, or that really pisses me off, right? Or it really upsets me that I feel invisible, right? So, once we honor those, it starts to shift in our present day reality. Right? And so how we start to change this, I'm laughing because I'm giving you a prelude to how we start to change this, right? But how we start to change this is, first and foremost, we have to see that every single thing that is happening in our present day reality, especially if it's not working for us, right? That it's here to show us something that needs to be healed, something that needs to be shifted and acknowledged within us, right? To start to change. So how we start to do this is we start to ask ourselves some questions. And some of those questions can include something like, why is this here, right? What is this here to show me? How is this here to help me to learn and grow? And even, how did I create this, right? So let's take the example of someone breaks up with you, right? If you start to ask yourself some of those questions like why this is here and what this is here to help show you and how this is here to help you to learn and grow, right? If you're saying you want love in your life, a lot of times what happens is that everything that's in the way of creating that love will show up in your life. So say, for instance, you were in a relationship, someone broke up with you, and that person in that relationship didn't treat you very respectfully, and you allowed yourself to be treated this way, right? In part, what that could be showing you is a pattern of disrespect, right? Is a pattern of you not loving yourself. And how can we expect others to love us if we aren't loving ourselves, right? If we are breaking our own trust by even staying in that relationship, right? So, that's one example of that, right? Is just to look at that and be willing to look at that. With this too, you might have made up, especially if you have some kind of abandonment in your life, you might have made up subconsciously that love equals leaving, right? Or love equals that you will always be left, right? So it's really, really, really important to notice that. And it's important, again, that you start to bring that to the surface so that you can start to create a new reality. If we look at the question though, how did I create this, right? How did I create someone breaking up with me? We can also look at, okay, what did I believe was going to happen in this relationship? Did you believe that the relationship was going to last, right? Or did you believe that at some point, it wasn't going to work out? Right? So, again, those are some important questions to ask yourself. Now, once you get the awarenesses, now say for instance, you get an awareness like, okay, I was allowing myself to be disrespected in that relationship. to make changes in the physical world around that, to say, okay, I notice someone's disrespecting me. I'm going to communicate that. I'm going to let them know, like, that's not okay. And obviously, if they don't change that, I'm going to leave the relationship, is so, so, so super important, because what you do with that is you tell the universe, stop bringing me people that disrespect me. And obviously, the less likely that you bring, someone in your field that disrespects you, the less likely that, you're going to cause a breakup or create a breakup, that's one little piece of it, but create a breakup because of this, right? Also with this though, if we look at the piece where you need to acknowledge, the voice that lives within you, if you're believing it's not going to work out, right, you need to acknowledge this voice, because there's a little kid, an inner child that lives within you that likely has some belief around this, if that's a thought that had come up for you. And so once you start acknowledging that voice, I'm using the example of it's not going to work out, or it never works out for me. So you could just simply literally start to get connected to what that voice is, right, what that voice needs to say, and say out loud, like, it never works out for me. Why doesn't it ever work out for me? It never works out for me. I don't think it's ever going to work out for me. It never works out for me. And again, that voice is likely connected to, the little girl or little boy that lives inside of you, right? That believed, from seeing a lot of different experiences and having a lot of different experiences in your childhood, that things don't work out for them. So once you start to honor that voice, and you can, as you say it out loud, you can see it leaving your body, though know it's working either way. Once you start to honor that voice, that's how things start to shift, and you stop creating experiences, for example, that aren't working out for you. So that's today's video. If you're enjoying these videos, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. You can absolutely get my Healing Through Abandonment complimentary toolkit at the link below. And of course, if you want more information on working together, you can head to deboraacker.com. So until next time, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and thanks so much for being here.